Hello, my name is Jared Krebs. I'm pictured here with my wife Crystal and our dog Tasia. We're in San Antonio, Texas. We're Emerald directors and co-founders of Team DSI. And tonight's training, we have a very special guest, Mr. Rene Martinez, who is the founder of Team DSI South. And him and his wife Megan are pictured there. They're directors in USANA. They are great contributors, great leaders on our team. And you can tell because their team is growing. They have so many active associates. In fact, they have, I think, over 10 people going to the Challenge U, which is probably one of the most as far as new associates upcoming. We fully expect them to be six-figure earners in the company. Silver Director is their next goal. We see that happening for sure right after Challenge U, if not very soon thereafter. Rene has a background in the oil field industry. But when he started his USANA business, he completely realized the power of a business like this, what it could do. And since then has basically just become one of the fastest growers in the United States market. So, Dad, could you please unmute Rene Martinez? And we want to bring him on the line. Are you there, Rene?
Hello, Jared. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. That was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for being on the webinar. And I want to say big congratulations to you and your wife on qualifying as VIP status for the Challenge U that's coming up this weekend. You're going to enjoy ice cold Rev 3. You're going to sit in front of the room. You're going to be recognized on stage. You're going to get extra training at lunch, and lunch is paid for. So congratulations on all your success. We're really proud of you. And take it away. The floor is yours. Tell us about the first 3 laws of leadership.
Thank you so much, Jared. Okay, so I'm going to go over the first law of the 21 laws of leadership right now. And the first one is the law of the lid. And basically, that's the leadership's ability is the lid that determines the person's level of effectiveness. The higher the individual's ability to lead, the higher the lid. The lower the person's ability to lead, the lower the lid. And that being the first one, that one could be very, very, very important, because for somebody that has a low ability, a low lid, if you run across a leader that is already higher than yourself, they're just going to look past you. They're not going to want to join your team. They're not going to be interested in anything you do or say, because they'll already be past where you're at. That's one reason why I'm always working on myself, bettering myself as a team leader, trying to tell my team that personal development is the most important thing that you can do, because you always have to work on yourself, because that's what it's all about, is making yourself a better leader. And going on to number 2, the law of influence. True measure of leadership is influencing nothing more, nothing less. I mean, influence is absolutely, necessary for being a leader. Basically, if somebody comes into my gym, Viper Elite Fitness, and they want to do a workout, and I can't influence them in the right way to want to work out, or I can't help them in the way they want to do it, influence is huge. I know for a fact that I would not be sitting here talking to everybody on this webinar if I didn't have the influence that I had, which is Jared Krebs. Even when I first started my business, I didn't come out the gate real fast. I came out kind of slow, and he was always there. He was always calling me. He was always influencing me. He was always telling me, hey man, this and that. And just being a very influential leader to me. And that definitely kept me in the game long enough to where I could realize, like he said, that this business is more than what people initially see it as. It's so much more. You can build it into, a 6-figure income, which I'm definitely going to do that. And I know a couple of people on my team are going to do that. And a lot of you, everybody that puts in time in doing this is going to do that eventually. You just have to make up your mind that you really want it, and that's all there is to it. And the third, which is very, very important, is the law of process. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. You always have to learn, develop, build. Never stop working on yourself. And the thing that comes to my mind whenever I hear the law of process, it's our process with our DMO, daily method of operation. It's a process. You have to do it every single day, and whenever you keep doing it, you get successful because you keep doing it, and stuff starts happening. People start signing up. People start saying yes. They start looking into the opportunity. They start seeing the team growing. They see the influential leaders that we're surrounded by. And yeah, I mean, the law process is huge. I mean, even in the gym atmosphere, I know I go back to the gym again. That's another one of my passions besides USANA. It's a process. I mean, if somebody comes in off the street, oh yeah, I want to work out, I want to do this, I want to bench press 350 pounds. Well, you're not just going to do it in one day. I mean, it's a process. You have to work your way up to that. You have to start off small, and then you just get a little bit better. You get a little bit stronger. You keep going. You keep moving. You learn different ways to do it. You learn different styles. Everything. There's a lot that has to do with the law of process, and I definitely want to thank all of our leaders, Jared and your dad and Viola, everybody, for all the processes that we have with our Team DSI. I mean, our DMO process and our trap, wrap, and win process, and all of our super scripts. Everything that we have is a process, and if you learn it, if you master it, it's like you can talk to people without even needing a paper in front of you. I remember when Jared Crebs told me, like, dude, you're going to get to where you don't even need them. You're not going to be reading them. It's just going to be flowing out of you. And it's true. If you work at it long enough, it's going to happen. If you really want it, it's going to happen. Just like I tell the people in the gym, if you really want something, just make it happen. Our slogan's nothing to it but to do it, and that goes good with USANA too. Nothing to it but to do it. And Jared, that's the first 3 laws. Are you still there?
I'm here. Thank you, Rene. That was really great. I like how you kept bringing it back to the gym, because it's so true. You know, physical fitness is basically about almost like a leadership process. You know, you got to go through that. And you have to like I like what you said about the influence as well. You have to be able to influence people at your gym. You have to be able to influence people at your business. And if you can't influence people, then you have to develop that skill. So
yep. And all of these 21 skills, you can develop them. Nobody is born there's no natural born leader. Leaders are made. So I mean, everybody don't think that just because you're not good at one thing that you're never going to be able to do it. Everybody's better at some stuff than others, but as long as you're decent at all of these, you don't have to be the best. You just have to put time and effort into it.
Absolutely. Awesome, Rene. Thank you so much for going over the first 3 laws. We really appreciate it. Again, big congratulations on qualifying for the VIP status at Challenge U, and even more congratulations on the growth of your business, all the active associates and clients you have, and the change that you're making in people's lives. And thank you for all you do for our team. Thank you for how you encourage everybody, not just your team members, but all of Team DSI and all the USANA family. Thank you for being a great friend and a true team player. We appreciate you, man.
And I appreciate everything, and I just want to congratulate every single everybody that's on the webinar right now, because you're taking action, you're making it happen. I know everybody's busy, and this is what it takes.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks again, Rene. And one more thing, we're actually streaming this on Facebook Live right now, and I want to ask if you can send a text to Luis Gomez and ask if his mother was able to get on the Facebook Live feed, and as well as his, I think his sister and his aunt. We're all going to watch on Facebook Live. And thank you, Rene, again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you for having me on.
All right. So to recap, and I'm going to take you through about maybe about 10 minutes more worth of laws, and then we're going to wrap up the webinar. But to recap, if you haven't written these down, make sure you write them down. The first law was the law of the lid. Okay, and again, that's your leadership ability. The next one, it was the law of influence. Okay, and then the third one was the law of process. Now there's 21 of these laws, right? So I'm going to go through as many as I can, and then whatever I don't get through, we'll go through them next week. But the next law is the law of navigation. Okay, the law of navigation. So basically how that fits into Team DSI is we have navigated exactly what should happen in the first hour of your business. We have navigated what should happen in the first 24 hours of your business. We have navigated what should happen in the first 7 days of your business. We have navigated what should happen in the first 14 days. We're actually working on getting it out to the 21, 28, and then also the 90-day mark and the 365-day mark. Now, navigation is so important because if you don't know how to map out the direction of your associate, they're gonna just flounder. You have to be that leader, and we've created the navigation for you. But when you enroll somebody, you got to execute that. You have to make sure that those meetings happen with your new associate. You got to make sure that your new associate knows how to get to the 3 business centers and on their auto order, and that they know about being on 200-point auto order instead of 100 if they can swing it. So these are things about navigation. So as a leader, you have to be able to navigate. And in the book, they actually talk about a guy who was navigating a trip to the South Pole, and one guy was like perfect at his planning and meticulous. And his group made it, and they were like the first people to make it to the South Pole in the world. And there was this group he was competing against who did not use the law of navigation, and ended up basically that second guy, his team actually died in the freezing cold because he did not properly navigate. Things went wrong, and they never made it back from the South Pole. So the law of navigation is almost like life and death. You have to know where you're going, and same with your clients. If you've noticed, we have navigation for your clients. We've provided the client tracking sheet, the first 5 steps for your client. So you have to navigate for your clients and for your associates. All right. Now let's go to the 5th law of leadership. The 5th law of leadership is the law of addition. Okay, so leaders add value by serving others. So what this means is that you have to keep adding value. When they say law of addition, it's not just about adding more clients and adding more associates. It's about adding more value to the associates and clients that you already have. How do we do that? You write them thank you cards. How do you do that? You give them phone calls every week for at least a few weeks to make sure they're taking their products right and they're getting results. How else do you add value? Why don't you text me? I'm waiting for some texts, or send me a Facebook message. Tell me what you do to add value to your team members, and I'll say it out here on the webinar. But you have to add value at all times. Like this webinar, for example, USANA doesn't make me do this webinar. I do it to add value to your business and to keep you on the cutting edge of what's going on. So you have to add value as many ways as possible. You know what else adds value? When you call people and you sing them happy birthday. Or when you go on Facebook and it's their birthday and you actually post a video like happy birthday, or just like little things like that. You keep adding value, and guess what? You're going to build a strong business of clients and associates. All right, because adding value changes lives. So make sure that you're focused on that when you're doing your business, and you're going to get a reputation for that. Lillian Galdiano says appreciation gifts and treat them to lunch. And I know that Lillian has done that because she actually gave a bottle of vitamin D to her client as appreciation gift. Way to go, Lillian. I'm sure you're taking them to lunch as well, because I know you're a businesswoman and you're a natural born leader. It's awesome to see you really take USANA by the reins, and you're doing so amazing. All right, so now we're going to go to law number 6, which is the law of solid ground. Okay, so oh, my mom Viola Krebs says auto order reminder notes. That's certainly value, right? So they don't get some auto order that they're not expecting. All right, so the law of solid ground. Basically, the law of solid ground is you have to be like a rock in this business. In other words, most people are like a river. They sign up, they try it, they don't have too much discipline, they don't do much, they don't. Oh, Veronica Cade, last one here. Add value by updating them on new products and webinars. Keep them current. Absolutely, Veronica Cade. Thank you. So getting back to the law of solid ground. Basically, it's all about character. Character communicates consistency, character communicates potential, and character communicates respect. Okay, so what is character? Character is basically, well, character is a lot of things, but it's doing the right thing when nobody's looking. You know, making sure that your client, for example, knows about their auto order instead of just letting it go through. Also, character is a lot about consistency because, you know, it's not easy always to contact someone and contact 2 new people a day. It's not easy to do that, but if you're doing it and you're starting to create results and you're getting a reputation for being somebody who always has 3-way calls. I know who is keeping me busy. It's the people who have me on 3-way calls. Those people, it's like, okay, I'm seeing consistency. I develop a high respect for the people that keep me busy on 3-way calls because that shows the law of solid ground. So, you know, your people know when you make mistakes. The real question is whether you're going to fess up. If you do, you can often regain their trust. That's another thing, okay? So, like, it's not always about being perfect. There's no perfect leader. When I make a mistake, I just apologize and I say, I fess up to it. I admit that I did it, and then that's how I can regain trust, right? So a leader builds trust by consistently exemplifying competence, connection, and character. So, you know, people will forgive occasional mistakes and they will give you time to connect, but they won't trust someone who has slips in character. All right, so that is basically the law of solid ground. It's about being consistent. It's about your people knowing that you're going to be in USANA a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That is the law of solid ground. The people that sign up and then they drop out in a year, that they don't have their clients can't trust them. Then their clients are like, where do I get my USANA from? Yeah, so that's a law of solid ground. Okay, now we're going to go to the law of respect. This is law number 7. I hope you guys are writing these down. So the law of respect, people naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. Okay, so the law of respect is basically just that. It's people following leaders stronger than themselves. People don't follow others by accident. People who are an 8 in leadership don't go look to follow someone who's a 6 in leadership. They're going to naturally want to follow a 9 or a 10. All right. So the less skilled are going to follow the more highly skilled and gifted. All right. So especially in USANA, if you want to attract good people, you have to raise your leadership. And everybody is at some certain level of leadership just by their past, right? Some people have a lower level of leadership. Some people have a higher level of leadership. But the real question is, how do you increase your leadership? Well, here's how you increase your leadership. You increase your leadership by consistency. You increase your leadership by working hard, by building your reputation, by being disciplined, by doing all the things basically people don't want to do. You develop your leadership and your respect. You know, Carlos Gomez has lost 50 pounds. Shout out to you, Carlos Gomez, because that shows a lot of consistency. You've been working on your health, and you're developing a leadership level to help people lose weight. You're also building a team with your leadership level because now you have a story. Also, I want to shout out to Luis Gomez and Whitney Bedencourt for having 8 guests at their mixer on Saturday. 8 guests, man, that's law of respect right there, because you got people to show up. Now, the challenge is that consistency and using the 3-way calls and the expert and the things that we talked about. I could give shout outs to everybody that's on this webinar, because the fact that you're on this webinar means that you're growing. It means that you're taking action in your business. So the law of respect, again, you just got to know that you have to increase your leadership if you're going to enroll better and better people, because everyone you enroll is going to be basically one level less of a leader than you. That's how it works. People follow someone stronger than them. Okay, guys, so it's 8:40. We've completed our training segment for tonight. We're going to finish, we'll probably do this in 3 parts. So we'll do the next 7 laws of leadership next week. I highly encourage you to get this on audiobook. Go to Audible, start listening to the 21 laws of leadership. Me and Rene Martinez are doing that right now. But again, that's the very best thing you can do. Start listening to the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, or go purchase the book. And you can obviously start reading it. But the more leadership you have, the bigger of a business you're going to build, the more people you're going to help, the more money you're going to make, the more fun you are going to have. And you're going to be basically following a system of leadership that is just undeniable. It's proven that it works. So thank you for being on this webinar. I look forward to hearing from you and how you're succeeding with the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.